as we've been saying, a big surprise, a name that nobody had talked about when the speculation was taking place, because this decision, Akhilesh, has been much delayed. Mr. JP Nadda, you can see on stage there with Nitin Nabin, and somebody who's going to play a very crucial role as he, learns the ropes in the first couple of weeks. That JP Nadda himself, remained as a president of the BJP for quite a long time, Akhilesh, because, it seemed that there was a tussle within. There was also talk of the RSS wanting to have its say. And all this had led to JP Nadda continuing as the president of the BJP for much longer than he would have otherwise, isn't it?
Absolutely correct, Gargi. In fact, on June 17, 2019, Mr. JP Nadda was appointed BJP's National Working President along with Amit Shah, who was the president that time. And he was appointed full-time president in January 2020. Since then, like for almost 6 years now, Mr. JP Nadda has been BJP's national president, and it is unexpected, it is unprecedented, because in BJP's history, it has never happened that somebody has occupied this post for such a long time. There are various reasons, because something like the Lok Sabha election had come in between, and after that the organizational elections were going on, and of course then there was a talk of there's a tussle between the BJP leadership and the RSS leadership about the possible successor of Mr. JP Nadda. But now what we've been told by the sources that on the name of Mr. Nitin Nabin, there was a convergence of views. RSS, BJP and the top leadership of the government, all of them came together and decided that it is high time that BJP has to now groom the third generation of the leaders, and that's why there was a broader parameter that the BJP's next president should be somebody who is below 50 years of age, so that a strong message can be sent to the younger generation of the country. Remember, India is the youngest nation in the world as of today, because we have the largest number of younger people in our country. So for them, it's a big message that somebody among them is actually occupying a big post like BJP's national president. So Mr. Nitin Nabin fits on all those criteria. But as far as this delay is concerned, of course the organizational elections were going on, and the BJP constitution stipulates that out of 37 states and the UTs, at least 50% should have the election completed. And the major roadblock was the UP, because the UP is the state which is the biggest state in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also an MP from Uttar Pradesh, and unless the election completed in Uttar Pradesh, the election for the national president could not have taken place, because Mr. Modi is there and he is also a voter as far as the BJP's electoral college is concerned. So now, since the UP election is completed, the final list of the voters will be published after the Makar Sankranti is over, and after that formal nomination for Mr. Nitin Nabin will be filed, and of course Mr. Narendra Modi will be one of the proposers of Mr. Nitin Nabin, and that formality will be completed most likely by next month.
All right, and Akhilesh, you've been speaking, to leaders who've been gathered there and party workers who've been gathered there waiting for Mr. Nabin to arrive. And as we're waiting to see, what's taking place inside, these were visuals from earlier that we saw. What have they been saying about this appointment?
No, they are very happy. I have spoken to various BJP workers who are gathered here since morning. Some of them have come from Delhi units, some of them have come from the neighboring states, and they are very happy for the fact that first, the confusion is over, the delay is over. There was a lot of talk whether BJP will actually have some national president or not, whether Mr. JP Nadda will continue, and will the party contest the upcoming assembly elections under his leadership. So all these talks were there, all these apprehensions were there, but now finally the picture is clear. They know that Mr. Nitin Nabin is there, though he has been appointed working president right now, but they are sure that in the coming days he will be appointed, he will be given full charge as the national president of the BJP, and they are very happy of the fact that somebody who is among them, who is just like a worker, like any of them, has come to occupy the biggest post as far as the BJP organization is concerned. And they are saying that if today Mr. Nitin Nabin can become president, why not tomorrow we can also be given that same kind of chance. So every worker is hopeful. So that also sends a very strong message as far as the BJP workers are concerned. Mr. Giraj Singh is here. गिराज जी, बिहार के लिए
आशीर्वाद दे दिया। हम उनके पिताजी के साथ काम करते थे, नबीन जी नहीं रहे।
Giraj Singh is somebody who has actually worked with along with his father, and today he's saying that it's a big day for Bihar, that a worker, an ordinary worker of the BJP from Bihar has come to occupy the biggest post of the BJP organization. So this is the thing which I was talking about earlier, that every worker is happy, and they're happy for the fact that this is the only party, BJP, which is a cadre-based party, where an ordinary worker can actually occupy a post like party president. Gargi.
That's right, and Akhilesh, as we were, talking about the challenges ahead, one of the, praise that we have heard for Mr. Nitin Nabin is the fact that he is someone who, has worked across organizational lines. He's worked on elections. He's a consensus builder, as well as the Prime Minister said, somebody who's a dedicated karyakarta. At the same time, as you mentioned there, a family that belongs to the BJP. His father was with the Jan Sangh and a BJP MLA as well. So all the right credentials now, and a new dawn really for the BJP. Huge challenges ahead, given, Akhilesh, as we were discussing, that next year we're going to see several state elections. The big one, of course, being West Bengal, which the BJP has had an eye on and has proved so far a state that they've not managed to make the type of inroads that they would have wanted.
That's correct. In fact, the BJP has been trying very hard in West Bengal, and BJP is increasingly slowly, but increasingly they are having their power and their strength growing in West Bengal. We have seen the kind of vote percentage they got in the last few elections. It is touching almost 40% now, and BJP is hopeful that if it focuses on certain areas like Kolkata and the neighboring areas of Kolkata, it can actually break through and can come into power in the next assembly election. BJP has been targeting Mamata Banerjee government on various fronts, but the one question which TMC always asks BJP is about the face against Mamata Banerjee, because they say that we have Mamata Banerjee who is a credible face. People of West Bengal trust her. Women especially, they believe that she is somebody who can always be there for them. But BJP, who does the BJP project? Who is the BJP? Who is BJP's face in front of Mamata Banerjee? This is the question being asked by TMC. So this is a big question which the BJP strategists have to finally arrive at. They need to find an answer to this question. They need to find a face in front of Mamata Banerjee, and of course this will be the key. We can say that challenge before Nitin Nabin, apart from having all other states like West Bengal, apart from West Bengal like Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Assam, and also Kerala. In the recent results of the local parties in Kerala, BJP is very hopeful that it has actually now come to be recognized as the third force in the state. It has won prestigious Thiruvananthapuram Municipal Corporation. The left front was there for the last 45 years, but the BJP has dislodged them, and it's a big surprise that has come from Kerala. And BJP hopes that maybe not in the next assembly election, maybe after 5 years or so, BJP will be in a position to occupy the center stage in the state politics. So all these challenges are there. That's why there was a need for the BJP to groom the third generation of the leaders, and that's why Nitin Nabin is there, who is just 45 years old. He has plenty of time on his hands, and he has a guidance available to him like Amit Shah and Narendra Modi, JP Nadda, Dharmendra Pradhan, Bhupendra Yadav. All these senior leaders are there to guide him, and of course he hopes that with their guidance, with their help, he'll be able to take the BJP to new heights.
That's right, Akhilesh. You've been talking about his appointment and how he was chosen, but as one knows, and the Congress too has just come out and criticized the BJP for the manner in which this was unilaterally decided. Everyone knows it is decided between the Prime Minister and Home Minister Amit Shah, possibly, that this decision to appoint Nitin Nabin was made. You have Gaurav Gogoi of the Congress saying that unlike Congress, no formal process was followed for the appointment of Nitin Nabin by the BJP High Command.
Well, since the Jan Sangh days, Gargi, the BJP has the tradition of never having elections for the organizational post. They always elect their leaders through consensus. And the same thing has happened in the case of Mr. Nitin Nabin also. What the sources are telling us, that there were talks among the top leaders like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President JP Nadda, and also senior RSS leaders. And the consensus was reached, as I mentioned earlier, that the RSS wanted somebody who is below 50 years of age, so that a young leadership can be groomed within the party. Now, the question was who should be there, because earlier, if you say in the past 1.5 years, names like Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Bhupendra Yadav, Dharmendra Pradhan, all these names were being mentioned as the possible successor of Mr. JP Nadda. But of course, the BJP has surprised everybody and decided to choose Mr. Nitin Naveen. But this is also very significant in the sense that, as I'm mentioning, there is no election within the BJP for the post of the organizations. Everything is done by the consensus. So BJP hopes that because by building this consensus, there will be, there will not be any tussle between the BJP and the government, and the work will be done smoothly. Though Congress mentions that in the Congress organization, sometimes elections also take place, but what happens after that, we have seen that, for example, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who contested presidential election in the Congress party, now he is a vocal critic of many things which are happening within the Congress party. So that is also another question, another example. Would the BJP want to do that? I don't think that BJP is in a position to do that, because we have seen in the past when the BJP was not in power, the party had faced internal problems and internal tussles and rebellion from time to time, be it Advani's annoyance with Mr. Modi's appointment as the BJP's prime ministerial candidate, or be that Uma Bharati's from time to time her expression of anger on various issues. So all these things were there. But as far as the elections are concerned, they normally take place through consensus. And this is the same thing has happened in this case also.
And how big a role would the RSS have played? Because that too was something being speculated, that there was, some sort of, as you said, consensus building needed to take place, and that was taking a while, given the RSS also wanted a prominent say in who would be the next leader of the BJP.
Well, of course, RSS has a say in the appointment of BJP's national president, because BJP is, we can put it that way, that BJP is basically the political wing of the RSS. And since the Jansangh days, this has been the tradition that RSS actually plays a crucial role in deciding who will become the BJP's national president. But when the party is in power, things actually take a different turns, because this time Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, they are also they are really powerful, and they also know what to do, who should be the right person to lead the party, because they have to face elections, they have to face parliament every day. So that's why they have to keep all these factors in mind. But of course, there were large deliberations that had taken place. Mr. Arun Kumar, who is appointed by the RSS to negotiate between the BJP and the government and the RSS, he was instrumental. He was part of the negotiations and deliberations which are taking place for the appointment of the BJP president. In fact, a few days ago, he was there in Lucknow to discuss the name of the UP BJP president, and he had a meeting with UP BJP CM and Mr. Yogi Adityanath, UP BJP president. All these meetings, they had taken place in Lucknow. And Mr. B.L. Santosh, who is also a RSS nominee in the BJP, he is also part of the entire process. In fact, few days ago, Mr. B.L. Santosh was there in Parliament building. He had a meeting with Prime Minister first. Then he had gone to meet Amit Shah. JP Nadda also joined them. And then these three leaders walked towards the room of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They had a meeting for around an hour in Prime Minister's chamber. So in that meeting, I think this must have been decided that BJP will go for a younger president, and the name was finalized of Mr. Nitin Naveen. Got it.
All right, for viewers who are just tuning in, Akhilesh there reporting from the BJP headquarters as Nitin Naveen, a five-time MLA in Bihar and the state minister who was yesterday announced as the new working president of the BJP. He has arrived in Delhi and he's there at the headquarters being felicitated. As you can see, a whole line of people already. He's been greeted by JP Nadda and Home Minister Amit Shah, but now a whole line of workers and leaders coming to congratulate him. It's quite a long line, I have to say, Akhilesh. This was a surprise announcement. As we said, he's 45 years old, going to be the youngest president of the BJP, and as Akhilesh points out, he's even younger than the Bharatiya Janata Party, as he was born just a few months after the party's inception. So he is the first president of the BJP from Bihar. He is a working president currently, but it is expected that he will be elevated to the role of national president after some time. And huge challenges ahead as well for Mr. Nitin Naveen, who has worked on elections in Chhattisgarh, in Delhi as well. And really, Akhilesh, as you were telling us, that's probably the credentials that work most in his favor to be appointed as the working president, given the challenges that the BJP is going to be facing next year with some tough elections, as we were discussing, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, etc. So that is possibly a reason why somebody like Mr. Naveen, who worked quite extensively in Chhattisgarh and in the Delhi elections, was selected as the working president.
That's right. In fact, Chhattisgarh was a very surprising election as far as the BJP is concerned. I was mentioning earlier, people were saying that Mr. Bhupesh Baghel, who is a very senior and veteran politician, under his leadership, the Congress will come back to power in Chhattisgarh. But despite the fact Mr. Nitin Naveen was very confident, in fact, he had a meeting with party's top leadership during the assembly elections, and he informed them very clearly that he was confident that the BJP will dislodge Mr. Bhupesh Baghel from power and party will come back to power in Chhattisgarh. So he was very hopeful, and he had done his homework very well. Along with Mr. Mansukh Mandaviya, was the election in charge of BJP Chhattisgarh. He was somebody who was instrumental in identifying right candidates from the respective assembly seats and identifying the key issues which played a big role as far as BJP's win in Chhattisgarh is concerned. Remember, Chhattisgarh is a state where the winning margin between the BJP and the Congress has been very thin. It's like less than a percent margin is there, and it is decided who will win the state. So even in such a closely contested election, Mr. Nitin Naveen was somebody who actually played the right cards and ensured that the BJP wins this crucial assembly election. And apart from that, as we have been talking, that he was also active in the Northeast. He was in charge of Sikkim, and he has played a big role in getting BJP support there also. Under his leadership, BJP had won 2 MLAs first time from that assembly in the Sikkim. Later on, now the party has its own government along with the alliance partners. So this is something else. And he has worked extensively in various assembly elections. Like for example, I was talking to somebody, some Delhi BJP worker, who was showing me the pictures of Mr. Nitin Naveen protesting at the barricades, protesting against the Kejriwal government, and he actually campaigned extensively in the Delhi Assembly elections also. So he has been active in various responsibilities and duties which have been assigned to him by the party leadership, and this is why he's somebody who is a low profile. He is a very soft-spoken leader, and he's somebody who does not show off. And all these things actually go into his favor, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi trusts him. Amit Shah trusts him completely, and it also sends a very big message. And as I was talking earlier, that BJP wanted somebody who can strengthen the organization, which has grown so big that the BJP has now become world's largest political party.